Today, we're talking emotion, and I want to give you guys a small piece of advice. I think this is really going to help you if you're battling FOMO, if you're battling greed, if you're battling the idea of giving up, right? This is going to help you really switch your whole entire outlook on trading. I know you've probably heard this before, right? Everyone's got a secret, but if you just give me a little bit of time to explain. The biggest problem for new day traders and you watching this video, probably your biggest problem is unrealistic expectations, right? Everybody wants to get rich and everybody wants to do it quick. But the big problem with that is it's almost impossible. I wish it was easy. I've been trading for almost 8 years now, and I still have days where I have to battle FOMO. I still have days where I get blown up. I still have days where I lose everything. Not everything, but I just lose my whole entire thought process. I don't follow the rules and I do bad things, and it shows in my P&L. Even 8 years into this game. So what is that? What is that telling you? That if you think that you're just magically going to be able to switch your brain into professional trader mode and you're going to make millions of dollars just right away here, well, it's just very unrealistic. So if we get rid of these unrealistic ideas and we focus on realistic ideas, things become a lot more a lot happier. You'll be a lot happier. I guess it's things look a lot brighter. The horizon looks a lot brighter. It doesn't look as far away because you're like, okay, my first realistic dream for trading, to get to a point where you are not losing money. And that sounds crazy, right? You're like, what do you mean not losing? I'm only here to make money, Patrick. Look at the market right now. I'm pulling back here. I'm only here to make money. I'm not here to lose money. No, my friend. You're here to be a trader. Traders lose money and they make money. They lose money and they make money. Sometimes they make more money than they lose, and that's when they become profitable. But the biggest problem for most traders is they only lose money because in the bigger picture of things, they're not focused on just not losing. That's a lot of stuff going on. But just stick with me here for a minute. If you focus on not losing, what are you going to do? You're going to take better setups. You're not going to just FOMO into trades. You're not going to just force a trade because you have a emotion. You're like, oh, I'm just going to jump right in here because you're like, wait. If I jump in right here, if I get in at the 440s, what happens if it goes to the 430s? I'm going to lose money. No, I'm not doing that. I don't like that. Right? So instead of me sitting here looking at this chart and being like, okay, I'm going to jump in right here because it's going to go up and I'm going to make $5,000. Instead, I'm changing my thought process. Instead of being, how much money am I going to make? I'm changing it to, well, if I get long right here and it crashes to here, where is my stop at? How much money am I going to lose? I don't like it because, oh, it looks bearish. Yeah, and I'm not going to touch it, right? And it's probably going to pop straight up now. But in general, it's a rule of thumb that if I change my outlook on or change my thought process about things, if I think differently, instead of thinking about how much money I'm going to make and I focus on how to not lose money, what am I doing? I'm reinforcing the fact that I shouldn't take a trade just to make money, because not only could I make money, but I can also lose money. So every trade that I'm looking at, there's a probability that I'm going to lose or I'm going to make money. I'm going to be successful. The more boxes that I can check off, the more little green boxes I can check. Okay, are we at a support zone? Are we breaking out? Is it looking bullish? Where is the pivot? Where is the VWAP? What's the price action telling me? The more questions I can ask myself before entering a trade, the better, because it's going to stop me from doing something silly when I don't need to, right? I should wait for my entry, wait for my setup. Just because I think the market might go up here, that very much also means it might crash straight down, because it's a coin toss at this moment. There's not a setup here. It is pulling back. There is a little bit of support there. We got that EMA there, but still, this is not my textbook setup. And I know that whenever I deviate, whenever I trade something that's not my textbook setup, the chances of me making money on that trade are much lower. I might make money, right? You're going to have plenty of days where you can FOMO into a trade, FOMO into the top, and it ends up going higher and you're going to make money. But the problem is there's going to be a lot more days where you're going to FOMO into the top and it's going to crash down and you're going to blow up your account, or you're going to try to short the top and vice versa. So trying to remove those random trades, trying to remove that emotion that I need to make a bunch of money here, that I need to get into a trade, like removing that emotion, because I'm like, oh, well, I could just jump in here, right? I could get in at 440, take a quick scalp above 450, maybe. You know, maybe it pops right here. I could maybe do it. But I'm not even considering the fact that, well, what happens if it drops straight down? What if it drops straight down from here? Am I even grasping the idea that I might lose on this trade, or am I only focused on the fact that I'm going to take a quick scalp to the upside? I'm looking at it like, well, you know, like right now, it's pulling back. I'm long for the 440s. What am I going to do? And then all of a sudden, this thing drops out like a rock, which I think it's going to do here. Maybe drop like a rock. Drop like a rock. Just holding right there. Still holding right there. But in general, you know, these setups that are outside of my normal trading strategy, my normal setups, my normal times to trade, these setups are going to yield less results. I'm going to lose more. I'm going to take unneeded losses because, again, like right now, here it is. It's pulling back. Right? This is not my setup. So why would I try to enter this trade just for a quick scalp? So now I've removed the like greed of wanting to take another trade. I'm already up $7,000 on the day. So, whoa, Patrick, keep trading. Look at it. It's pulling back right now beautifully, right? So I'm asking questions to help myself validate my intuition of not taking a trade here because of the setup, what I'm looking at, and vice versa. But what am I really doing? I'm switching that thought process. Instead of thinking about how much money, like I can make a quick scalp. Oh, well, I can get in right here and make a quick $1,000. I can get in right now, right? I could get right back in here and try to make $1,000. Or maybe it's gonna pull back. Maybe I'm gonna short right here. I'll short right here and then it's gonna pull back. Like I could do that, and I could get lucky more times than not. But there's also those days where you're gonna try to do that, and the market's gonna make a huge move out of this level, and it's gonna blow you up because you're not prepared for it. You're not following the plan. You're chasing profits. You're trying to make more money when you don't need to. You don't always have to be trading. You don't always have to be in a trade. Just because the market's open doesn't mean it's a good time to trade. Just because if this goes back up to the 460s, oh, great, awesome. We made money earlier. Now we're sitting here, we're working on other things, and we're not worried about making more money. We're worried about I don't want to lose anymore. Because right now, maybe I could take a trade here, right? I could press that button right now and get in on a trade. But also I'm like, well, do I really want that? Do I want to deal with that right now? I've been in this situation before where I try to trade that 12 o'clock, let me trade right now. And then all of a sudden I get long here and then it drops like a rock, or I'm getting short here, whatever it is. It's the exact opposite of what I think is going to happen because middle of the day, there's less volume, there's less continuation, there's more chop. You got to be careful. You got to understand where we're at in the day. Right now, it's, like I said, 12:15 here in the afternoon. And normally I'm done trading by 12. So I'm not going to put on a trade here. Not because I want to make more money, but I also my biggest focus is not losing. I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose money here. And I don't want to give back profits. I've already made profits on the day. I'm already in the green. So there's no point in me trying to just force a trade. As you can see, right here, it's sitting 440s. If this starts to pull back, it might be a great short opportunity, but still, it's not inside of my overall bubble that I should be focused on. So really just trying to remove that idea of when you go into a trade, you look at it, you start checking off the boxes, you start looking at the risks, you start looking at the profit, but you're also you're really focused on that risk because you're like, man, okay. You have to accept that. The more that you accept that, the more that you really are at peace with the idea of getting stopped out. The idea, if I enter right here at the 440s and I get stopped out at 430, okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But being able to accept that comes with being able to validate that, being able to validate the risk as well. Because I'm well, if I'm going to risk 20, I better see at least a 40, 50 point move to the upside. Whatever it is, being able to validate the risk to get the reward. That's what I want to be focused on. Is the risk worth the reward? Should I keep trading? Should I keep going? Should I keep forcing trades? If you have 2 or 3 bad trades in a row, it's probably a good time to walk away. It's a good time to take a little break, slow it down. Remove that emotion of trying to always just switch right away. If I get short right here and it goes higher, then I switch to a long, it's going to blow you up really quickly. But again, let's just focus on how not to lose money. If you can do that for the first year, if you can just focus on not losing money for the first couple years as a trader, you're going to be at a much, much better place in time than a trader who's only focused on making money, because they're going to blow up a lot more. They're going to have a lot more, emotion, and all that build up, all that negative emotion, losing and, blowing up and fighting the trend and the FOMO, all of that builds up, and it really becomes a lot of baggage, and it'll really weigh you down as a trader. It'll force you, to really kind of focus more on the P&L than anything, because all you're thinking about is like, man, I've lost so much money. I just need to get back to break even. Like, you're thinking, if I can, I've lost $5,000 trading. If I can just make back 5,000, I'll never trade crazy again. I'll never force trades. I'll never trade with large size ever again. And it's easy to make that promise, and then guess what? You never get back to the 5,000 back, and you're continuing to blow up and blow up. So you want to try to avoid that. You want to avoid the blowups. You want to find some consistency, even if it's in the losses. If you're losing consistently, well, it just takes a little bit of time to switch, right? To switch that and be like, okay, the reason, like if I look at my trades for the last 2 weeks, all my losses happened right at open. So what does that tell me? Like, let me avoid trading the open. I'm not going to trade the open. I'll make a new rule. 15 minutes is my new rule. So I'm not going to trade, inside that first 15 minutes. Great. I got a rule now. I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to follow that plan. So now for the next 2 weeks, goes by, and I'm like, look, I did not trade the first 15 minutes, and I had green days every day. I was green every day. All I did was I changed one little thing because I was finding consistency in losing, in losing. If you find the consistency in losing, well, then you can make changes. If you don't have consistency in your losing, I wouldn't say it's easy to lose money, but most people lose money, but they're not consistently losing. They're trying different things. They're forcing trades. They're putting on more size. They're changing things always. They're bouncing strategies. They're moving, they're doing all these different things. So there's no way to really kind of pinpoint what is the major issue. Like, what is the big issue? Because you're not able to identify what the issue even is, because you're not consistently doing anything. You're just changing the strategy. You're bouncing around. You're watching different live streamers, whatever it is. Like, you've got to kind of ask yourself, okay, what do I do consistently? Do I trade from 9:30 till 10 o'clock every day consistently? Okay, perfectly. I do that every day. And every day I lose money right at 9:30. Okay, so let's try to not trade until 10 a.m. Move things around. Oh, whenever I take one contract, if I trade one contract, I end up making money because I'm able to hold for my losses. Okay, but I end up sizing up, and that's when I end up blowing up, because I size up, I get emotional, I can't handle the losses, I can't get stopped out. So you have to be consistent in everything that you're doing so that you can look at it and be like, okay, try to do things consistently for 2 weeks. Trade one contract for 2 weeks straight. See what happens. Do you have emotion? Are you stopping out? Are you feeling better? Are you removing things? Just kind of ask yourself, what are little things that you can adjust to get to a point where you're like, okay, this makes sense. Now that I've changed this one little thing, now I'm feeling better. Now I'm everything's starting to look a little bit better. Focus on not losing. Focus on not losing, and you'll get to a point where you're going to make money. If you can just not lose money, you're going to make money at some point. At some point, you're going to make money. So just getting to a point where you're not losing, that's the hardest point. That's the peak of a trader's journey. I think even the best traders in the world, they're still they're not at a level where they're just oh, all I do is make money. I just make money. And they're still very much at that peak of okay, I am the peak of my trading career because now I am more focused than ever on not losing. And I'm more focused than ever on cutting off my losers. I'm more focused than ever on being consistent. But I'm still I'm not sitting there thinking I'm going to make $1 million every day. Now I'm just thinking hey, if I have a green day, if I don't lose, if I'm able to, do what I need to do, follow the plan, take my setups, take the trades, and then walk away, well, that's the job. That's what I need to do. That's my focus. So that's where I want to get to. If it's me having a red day and then still walking away with a small red day and being consistent, that's also what I need to do. It's not always I have to have a green day. I don't always have to have a green day. Some days will be red, and you got to be able to accept that. Market now, a little bit push back up, so you can see. Market's always moving, but sometimes you just got to focus on other things. Let's focus on not losing money. How about that? We'll do it. I'll focus on that. You focus on that. And we'll talk about what happened a year from now. How about, that's a good idea. You and me, 1 year from now, we'll talk about what happened after we stopped focusing on making money and focused on not losing money. We'll see what happens.